Penn State hockey lost last
They
night,
did.
6-4.
At the 4-2 lead as well in that game.
And Webush had 4 goals.
4 goals. Yep, all 4. Yep.
I am going to go tonight.
Almost went last night. The Phillies weren't playing that game.
Well, I
had truly thought about going. Yeah,
I had the talk show last night, the coaches show with Kayla Trainer and with James Franklin. Then I had to record the pregame show with James. So I couldn't even get out of there till 7:30. So I already knew ahead of time it was going to be worthless for me to go over. But I'm going to go tonight. Watch them play.
Yeah.
Look, it's a long year.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, and they'll develop as time goes on. Look, you have all the talent in the world. It still takes time to mesh together. I don't care how much talent you have. It takes time.
Yeah, but it's also, in that sport, you'll lose a game here and there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
It happens.
Absolutely.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay? When's the last undefeated team we had in college hockey? How about?
Never had one that I remember.
Yeah. Just like in college basketball, 76 Indiana.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They're the last ones. Yeah. UCLA seemed to do it with regularity.
Yeah.
But
has there only been 2 undefeated teams since then that have gone into the tournament undefeated? You had UNLV and you had Kentucky.
That's it.
That was it.
They're the only 2. Yeah.
A UNLV team I did not think would lose. I would be the first to admit that. That's one of Coach K's. His championships are big. I think that, to me, is one of his biggest victories of all time. That was a game that I did not think Duke got a chance.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's just hard to do.
It's incredibly hard to do.
Right. Last year's national champion in college football lost twice.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. I realize there's a segment of the population, not a big segment, that thinks you should never, ever lose. Okay? While that's nice and it's idealistically wonderful,
it's incredible.
In today's game,
it's hard to do.
It's not realistic anymore. And how could you possibly lose? I remember one time, and you get you get some bad calls along the way.
Sure.
Right. And I remember one time, this is just a couple of years ago. Remember Penn State played Georgia Tech at Madison Square Garden? Game goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in the end, there's a play at the baseline, and the ball goes out of bounds, and the Georgia Tech player trips over his own 2 feet. Ace Baldwin is about 2 feet away from him, because we looked at the replay, like 2 feet away. They called a foul on Ace. We're like, no, there's 1 second left. There's a second left in the game. Right? You can't make that call.
No.
Okay?
Absolutely not.
In other words, he's 2 feet away from him. It was such an egregious call. We just sat back and went, what are you looking at? In other words, Johnny Miller was famous in broadcasting, and he always said, it's not a good word. He says, but, how often did you hear Johnny Miller in golf use the word choke? Okay, it's not a word I usually use, whatever. But on that play, the official choked. Sorry, he choked. All right. So later I get back, and it was a holiday party that night. And so I drove back from New York. This is after somehow working my way out of the city.
Easier said than done.
Right. I got out. Right. And because my car was parked in Jersey, so I finally got an Uber and got out. I was going to take the train. And I went down and I was like, I'm not doing this. I got back, right? And somebody said to me, well, that's their fault they lost. I'm like, what? I said, they had the game won. I said, and they had it taken away from them. I said, the guy knocked the ball out of bounds himself, tripped over his own 2 feet. I said, Ace is 2 feet away from him. They called a foul on Ace. He said he wasn't even close enough to touch him. Like, see what I mean about the attitude?
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the attitude here? Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.